Good day and welcome to Motor Rose Music. I am Jeff Thiel, the host of the show. And yes, well, another budget guitar from Amazon. I couldn't resist on this one. This is the Volgoa. Assuming that's how it's pronounced. We don't have any phonetical spellings on, on Amazon or anywhere else. So, and this is, another Chinese-made guitar. I'm not sure where they come up with these names. I think, I had the IVE. I think it's IYV. Perhaps it's an acronym. I think somebody told me. But this is a Volgoa. And this is the one, as I said in my short, that on paper, it reads like an amazing guitar for the money. These are around the $240 mark. When I bought it, there was I believe it was a 30% off coupon. I got it for $205. So anywhere within that range is what these are going for. So it has a slew of features on it. Let's kind of start down at the bottom here. I believe it's a poplar body. It's some sort of material like that, a poplar or alder. Either one of the two. It's not basswood, I know that. So this has a floating trim. Everything about this is kind of Strat style. They do go veer off, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. I've kind of set this up as best I could. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this particular guitar. I may send it back. I have to kind of get a feel for it here. I will let you know some of the one big flaw in this thing that I found. It's pretty crazy. This is made in China, and I'm sure it's probably out of one of those Chinese factories that a ton of different guitars come out of, including some American brands like Epiphone. So you've got your basic Strat volume tone set up, but the pickups are where I found the most intriguing about this guitar. Let me put this out of the way. You see, we've got 3 of these toggle switches here, and your standard 5-way switch. Now, if you notice these pickups, I'll have pictures. This is a rail and a rail, so a humbucker. It's like I remember seeing, and God, I wish I could remember the book. There was a book that had 2 humbuckers stacked together. They called it the mother bucker. Somebody look that up and tell me. Maybe I'll post it here once I'm done. But yeah, this is a 2 rail pickups, which are humbuckers stacked together that are splittable here. So what it does is I believe, and they don't say on the website, but I'm guessing it probably just, and if I was, smart enough with wiring and schematics, I'd be able to tell you. But I would guess that it probably splits them as just one humbuckers. I doubt it would just go 2 single coils together. Could be wrong. So now when we go up here, this gives you your normal second position where it's these 2 together. But in this case, you've got, if it's like this, both of these down, you've got the 2 rail humbuckers and this rail humbucker together. Now, if I flip this up, I've got this humbucker and then this humbucker together. If I flip this up, I've got this humbucker, and then this split is a single coil. You get where this is going. That's what all these things are for. So now I go into the middle position, the 3rd position, and you got to remember to flip these back down. You got to keep this all in your brain if you're playing on the fly. So now I've got this down, and it's just this rail humbucker. Flip up, splits it. This here, let me flip this back down. And this, your 4th position, this is kind of the funk position that a lot of people like to play, includes these, your middle and your neck. Now, let's flip this up, and now I've split this rail, and then you've got the rail humbucker. So, again, up here, then you can flip these both up, and you've got split and split. Then this up here is just the rail, split that rail. So yeah, I mean, I will, maybe I'll count all this and I can tell you how many different configurations you have. I'm not going to try and figure that out right now, but that is pretty versatile. On paper, we'll go through, maybe they're very subtle, maybe they're not subtle. We've got a 3-ply pick guard. This is a purloid, and you've got the same thing on the back. And this beautiful, this is nice carved out here. So you've got that nice versatility here. You can reach really well up there, up to 22 frets. We've got a roasted maple neck, a roasted fingerboard, some nice of these abalone inlays here. I never know to pronounce it abalone or abalone, whatever. But that's what we've got. It's that dark purloid type look to it. Stainless steel frets, and these are rounded off, so they're rounded stainless steel frets. I feel a little bit of roughness to them, but they're rounded. I think there's a couple that are sticking up that aren't leveled out. The typical, I think it's this second one here is a little high. I think it just needs to be punched down a little bit. And there were a couple other that were a little bit high. I'm not going to do that just yet because I'm not sure if I'm keeping this. Anyways, we travel up to the bone nut and seems to be cut fairly well. I think the G could be cut a little bit lower. I'll, reserve the right to do that later if I keep that. We have 2 string trees, and that's to help with this break angle here. And then locking tuners. There you go. So, I mean, look, locking tuners, bone nut, stainless steel frets, they're rounded off, roasted board and neck, and then all this crazy pickups. You can kind of, see why I, said that, damn, this thing on paper, this thing's loaded. I mean, I don't know of any guitars that have all this crap. Now, that doesn't mean that this is better, but it does have a lot of features to it. So, up next, what I will do is I'm going to do the plane. We'll get to that, but the crazy issue I had was when I started checking out the electronics. I took this, all the pickup cover, which was a pain in the ass, and just to check things out. And, there's, the run-of-the-mill cheap stuff that's on there. There's nothing, this isn't, earth-shattering. But as you can imagine with all these switches, there's a lot of stuff involved here. But that's not the thing that's of note. When I took this back here, I was going to, do my normal hardtailing it, put a couple of springs on the back. But I noticed there's this giant hole back here. I'll put the picture up. And like cracks in it. And you could see where there was, body work done on the guitar. Like this thing had I don't know, maybe it just had when they were, carving this out back here, that there was a bad piece of wood and a chunk came out, or they accidentally went too far with the router and put a big hole in it. I have no idea, but I mean, it being cracked, it must have just been a really weird piece of wood that had maybe a knot in it that they cut out, and there were cracks, and they said, they just use everything. And I don't know. I've never seen anything like it in my life on any type of guitar. Anybody have an idea, drop it in there. But not sure I'm going to keep this one. But let's hear what this thing sounds like. I'll play some clean tones. I'll run quickly through all the pickup configurations. That'll get a bit boring, to hear, all of them in any type of length. And then I'll do the usual. I got a tube screamer here. I'll give it some overdrive and some clean after this cut here. All right, back with the Volgoa. I have to look at it just every once in a while to make sure I got the name right. And I'm going to start out clean here. And I've got the 68 Deluxe reverb that this is playing into. I'll start with the first position. I have to say first position because they're all humbuckers. That's the weird part. And let's just go clean, and we'll take it from there. And I will split these, and I will do it relatively quickly so this doesn't turn into a super long video. Well, here we go. Here's the 2 rail humbuckers, the first position. Let's split them now. Kind of like that sound. Okay, so now let's go into the second position, and I've got both of these turned. Well, they're not split. So I've got the 2 rails and this middle rail here. See, it's still got a bit of the quack to it there. So now I'm going to split the humbucker, or you know what I'm talking about. Now let's split them both. Now we'll just have the humbucker position and split the middle. Subtle, it's a subtle, but it is a difference. I mean, if you really wanted to kind of fine tune it. So now let's go just the middle position. Split the middle position. Now I'm going to have the rail middle position here. All right, now let's go to that fourth position, and that's going to have both of these rail humbuckers on. It's kind of a darker sound, I think. All right, let's split the middle pickup here, and then have this rail on. Now split the neck. See what if we get this out of the way. Yeah, you get kind of funk sound out of this. Now let's just go to the neck position. split it? Not bad. I mean, you know, it's there. It's a slew of options to you. That's for sure. I'm going to take a second and tune this up because I bumped this, you know, floating bridge here. All right, there we go. That's the problem with these floaters, especially on the cheap, you know, cheaper guitars, and really my Strats. It was a pain in the ass to get them set up, and I found I just don't use them, so I just throw 2 extra springs on it and leave it at that. So let's. I'm going to go ahead and turn this tube screamer on, and we'll go in the first position with the these 2 humbuckers on. It's got some juice to it. Let's split it. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't really go to humbucker sound. It is almost kind of the second position. Let's put it in the second position. All the humbuckers engaged here. Split this. Split them both. A lot of noise in these. I do notice that. They've got to be, I haven't tested this. Testing, testing, testing. Not too microphonic.
Testing, 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 testing.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird. That's probably because I got a big giant hole back here. You know, it just reverberates around in there a bit. I don't know. So, you know, it's not bad, you know. It sounds good. You know, I'm going to give it a little more time. Maybe I'll do an update on it. I got to check when my window is to where I can return this with Amazon. So, you know, you know, for a beginner, I would say, hell no. Just this is a little bit too much of a setup nightmare if you're going to float this. And I don't know. It's if you wanted, you know, a guitar to really. This is, to me, this would be a good platform if you wanted to screw around with some pickups. You know, maybe, and it would be rail humbuckers that you'd want to, maybe if you wanted to put some really good rail humbuckers in here and you were really good at setting up a floating bridge. I never use them. I just don't spend the time trying to set them up, so I don't ever bother doing that. But anyway, so, you know, I would say it's kind of a mild, you know, thumbs up, sideways thumb, whatever you want to say from me. It's, again, on paper, this thing sounds really good, or at least it looks good. The guitar sounds good. I just, I'm not 100% on it just yet. So I'll do an update, a short. I'll either have it or I won't. And I'll let you know there. Anyways, thank you for watching so much. I appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. And remember, keep rock alive.